Welcome, everybody, to day 3 of Letting Go and Living, the series that Haley Yarish and I are running around the themes of letting go and loss, navigating the unknown, more ease during this process, how to have peace with the process of letting go. So welcome, Haley.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited about today's topic on letting go of how things were quote unquote supposed to be and accepting what is. I think this is a big topic because we were talking about, hi Kristen, hi Jocelyn, welcome. We were talking about how our suffering comes from our attachment, and I know this conversation prompted the quote that God laughs when we make plans, because I mean, I know you and I both are those type of women that like to have everything figured out and have everything organized and, have a plan in place.
Yes.
And it's inevitable whenever we make plans that God laughs and that things are going to change. So what are your thoughts on this topic before we get started today?
Yeah, I think we get so attached to how things are supposed to be that we don't allow ourselves to make room for like that change or it to move with us and to grow with us. And we get so stuck in this one place that nothing can really unfold as it's supposed to. We're just stuck.
And there's no room for inspired action, right? Like, I think that when we have an image of what things are supposed to be, there's no room for unexpected gifts to come in. It's like we have blinders on to all the gifts and opportunities that are trying to come into our life.
Totally. Yeah. It's like we're blocking ourselves from receiving all that is waiting for us.
Mm-hmm. So I think, today I thought we should talk about a little bit how being able to let go of how things were supposed to be and accepting what is, how a lot of that has to do with having faith in ourselves and faith in the unknown. So do you want to share what that process has been like for you, how you've developed this? Because I know for me with you, I really feel you have really strong faith. Like, you don't get wavered too easily. Was it always that way?
No, I don't think so. I think for so long I was like a planner, and I was like very rigid of like my agenda was my life and this is how it's happening, like no room for like any change or any
No
type
spontaneity. Yeah.
No, none. If it wasn't written down, it wasn't happening. So then it became to the point where I was like, okay, I need to learn to like go with the flow a little bit more. And then in that I learned to kind of let things unfold as they would, and it was very uncomfortable for a while. And then I learned to enjoy that process, because all the gifts that came to me and all the relationships that got cultivated and the opportunities that came, like I could have never planned these things. And I think it really shifted for me when I started experiencing a lot of loss, especially death, because like that's something that is completely out of our control, or the ending of a relationship. And when those things are so out of control, you then realize that like life isn't in your control and you can't plan everything.
I know people are probably like crawling out of their skin right now, because I am a little bit of a recovering control freak, where it was like, I think that this is sort of society standards, where we have an image, an expectation in our head of how things are supposed to look. Like, we go to school, you get married, you have kids, you buy a house. And so we're like constantly, subconsciously striving for that. And I know for you and I both, like, sort of taking a turn off of that path. And I mean, both of us did both of those things. We've bought homes, have children, you've went to school. Like, we've checked things off our list. And I think this is quite common, where people, well, I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Like, that's what everybody else does. Why am I not happy? And
it feels like we have to like do all these things, like check them off a box. Like everyone around us is, getting married, buying the house, doing this all by a certain age, and it's like, oh shit, like I'm behind, like what's going on, like
what's wrong with me? Yeah.
And then we get to the point where it's like, maybe my path is going to look different, and then becoming to accept that was huge. And then that allowed me to embrace all the opportunities that have come my way, like those things that I thought it was supposed to be like. Yeah, I got the job, I did the degree, I did all the things, but I didn't feel how I thought I was supposed to feel.
And I think too that we can have all those things. We just don't need to be on the exact same track as everyone else. And that would honestly be really boring. And that's one thing that, like, living big to me means being brave and doing things differently than what then what's expected of us, really. And I know that that's where the faith piece comes in. You have to believe in your inner knowing more than the external noises of the world or the voices of the world. Even people that love you so much and they like just want what's best for you. There's this inner knowing that is just like, I don't know how to explain it, but I want more. And I think this happens in relationships a lot, where you can be with someone that you love. They're an amazing person. They're great on all levels. On paper, they're perfect. But in our inner knowing, we're just like, something is not in alignment. And that's what living big is to me, is being brave enough to say, listen, I love you and I love me too. And something isn't right. And so I have to make this move. I have to follow that pull. And we don't have faith until we follow it. I mean, people like are waiting for faith to turn up. I'm like, okay, so I have faith now. It's like faith doesn't come until you do the thing that scares the shit out of you. Yeah. And that's why Jocelyn says, I'm so glad we're talking about this. It helps to know we're not alone in this path. Beautiful. I'm glad that this conversation is helping. And that making these moves, it's so important to have a support system in place. Do you want to share on that?
Yeah, I think like having like that backbone and that support, especially in those moments of doubt, is because we question ourselves, right? We're like going through these things and this is what it was supposed to be like, but I'm changing that path. And it's like having somebody to check in with and be like, okay, like I'm freaking out right now, like, and to remind you of what that vision is and what you said that you wanted and why you wanted it, and to really ask you those questions that, you know, you and I both like to like bounce off conversation, right? So it's having that place to like verbally process what we're going through, and then we can really like connect to what's true for us.
Yeah, I always say like the two biggest areas of growth is growing a business. It will bring up all of your shit, all your fears, all your inner critic, like all the subconscious, you know, blocks to success. Building a business will bring that up, and two, relationships. Like these are the two fast tracks to personal growth. And when you're in this space, your mind, you have to learn how to master your mind and your emotions. And for me, as a verbal processor, that's why I love EFT and like sisterhood and running groups, because I find clarity through talking. And I think the people that we resonate with are the same. Like they just need space to process. They know they have the answers within them. They know what they need to do. They just need someone to bounce ideas off of and to have that guidance and knowing and really believe in them. And that's why I'm so excited about this series we've put together, this 6-week course, to bring women and men that are transitioning in relationship or through loss, that are just feeling like, I can't find myself in this, to really come back into that centered place of their inner knowing and believing in themselves and seeing a vision and being held and witnessed and brought through that process. Is there anything else you wanted to add on that?
In that too, it's like learning to trust ourselves. And it's like we have these things come up and it's like, hey, well, why do I want to do this? Like this wasn't according to plan, or this isn't what, like, you know, we were supposed to be. So it's learning to trust that like I feel this way for a reason, and like I can follow this, and whatever that looks like is going to unfold in the most beautiful way, and invite things into my life that like I may have never planned for. And it's like a beautiful, like chaotic mess.
And I think too, it's like we think everyone else is the authority on us. Like, oh yeah, I should take their advice. But it's like you have your own best advice. And I love that in this process, that's what happens. I know women that are, I've been working with women that are struggling with their health as well. And like having the confidence to know what their body needs and doesn't need is being brave. Like they're like, I'm sorry, but this is not the right route for me. Like it's not working. My intuition is telling me to go somewhere else. I know it doesn't make sense on paper, but I just know. And that happens in relationships too. Like I just know this isn't working, but I don't trust. I don't know if I can trust it. And you can. And that's what we're really here to say, is you can trust that inner knowing, even when it seems outrageous, it doesn't make sense. And that's where we're being like lighthouses, like trust that and just watch, because that's when synchronicity aligns. That's when the universe comes into play. And it's like, boom, 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 boom. Like everything lines up. I know I had a friend recently who was feeling this, and she decided to make a move. And she was like, well, I don't know, like, where am I going to live? Like, how am I going to afford to do this? Blah, 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 blah. The minute she made the decision, literally somebody walked in the door and was like, hey, I'm looking for a new roommate. And it's like super close to her work. She ended up getting a raise, but you don't get that until you make the decision. And so helping you get to that place is really, I know what we're all about right now, is getting you in that place and holding you in that discomfort, getting comfortable being uncomfortable, and then expanding into that person you really know you're meant to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's such an exciting place to be, because when you have that commitment to doing the things differently and to going for it and to just like chasing and following those soul nudges that you get, it's like things start to show up and to show you that like you will be supported, and like you don't really realize that until you do start taking those like little steps, and it's having somebody like behind you to like give you a little push when you need it. I know you've been that person for me, even like, come on, Haley, we're doing this right now, like too bad.
Facebook Live is going on, so you better hop on. Yeah, and I know this is something I've been learning lately, because I'm always growing and expanding, so I'm not perfect at everything, but I've learned a thing or two. And in the book Asking It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks, they talk about if you're going on a trip from Phoenix to San Diego, you don't get halfway and then turn around and go back. And I think that's what lots of us do. We're like, yeah, we're on our way to our vision. Oh my goodness, no, it's not working. I gotta go back. And it's like, no, you're gonna get there. You just need to keep moving. And that's where having a support system in place. That's why I hire coaches, is to be like, listen, guys, I'm like wanting to just run. I'm just like out right now. And they're like, no, you're not. You're getting back on the track. Yeah. And I'm always happy they do that, because that means you're right before the breakthrough. Every time when you want to quit, or you're like, I can't do this, or it means you're on the edge. And if you stick through that discomfort and allow yourself to be supported, the breakthrough will happen and life will open up to you.
Totally. So, it's like in that really like uncomfortable place when it's like that's where the growth comes from. It's like you're feeling uncomfortable because you're being pushed bigger and higher and further along your path. And if we go backwards in that point, that's when we're not, moving along.
And that's the point when we need to learn how to manage our nervous system. And I know that's one thing that me and you both work on is, hey, Sarah, hey, everyone joining us, is when you're in that moment of, oh my God, I want to quit, I'm out, is like, yes, someone holding you there, but learning how to connect with how you want to feel, learning how to soothe the fight or flight response yourself. Like, I can come in and do that with you at EFT, but I want to show people how to do that themselves, so that we're not just taking Band-Aids all the time. We're like, wow, I know how to do this for myself. So that to me is the definition of personal empowerment, is when I am in this discomfort, I know that where I'm meant to be right now, and now I know what to do about it. And that's where we become magnetic. It's like when the light switch turns on, you become that magnet of like, man, what is that girl doing?
Yeah. It's like really like learning to recognize it coming up and what that feels like in your body, because it's different for all of us. So recognizing how that feels in your body when it's coming up, and then what to do with it after that. And then that is how we move through it.
And it's so true, because lots of times when we feel discomfort, our automatic thing is to fix it. Like, we'll go eat, or we'll go shop, or like, let's just, play online. Like, let's just look on Facebook. But it's so simple. The easiest way to get through it is to feel it. And I know that's what I teach in EFT, is like, the feeling just needs to be felt. And like, even just for 15 seconds, like, yep, I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm afraid. And as soon as you feel it, it's like, oh, okay, you see me. And that feeling will dissipate. And then that's when you have the opportunity to bring in a new feeling, to bring in inspiration, to bring in, oh, I'm open to seeing this differently, because the elephant in the room is gone. We're not just like shoving it under the rug and like, no, I'm fine. It's like, no, you're not fine. And it's okay to not be fine in this moment. Yeah. Let's move you through that so that you can feel really confident.
Yeah, and there's something to be said too for like speaking truth to it, right? Like when we say it to somebody and somebody witnesses us in that space, it's like, I'm claiming this right now. This is how I feel, and then it's like a way of releasing it like from us. We've said it, and now it's like ready to leave.
And it's funny, because sometimes we think that, I was tapping with someone yesterday around this topic, and it was like, if I do this thing, then I won't be supported. And you don't even realize you say it sometimes. So when I tapped, I said, no one will support me. Like, I'm going to be all alone. Like, if I make this move, and it's funny, because as soon as you say it out loud, you laugh. You're like, this is ridiculous. Like, my family loves me. Like, I'm not going to be alone. And so I love that you said that. It just wants to be acknowledged. And then it doesn't have our power over us anymore. Then we can make that empowered decision.
Yeah.
Jill says, yes, allowing it gives the acknowledgement and freedom to pass through. And it just takes like a moment. Yeah. We spend all of our energy avoiding, and it's just having a safe and empowering way to acknowledge it sets you free in a moment.
Yeah, it's like that one courageous moment of just like allowing yourself to really feel it, and then and then we are free, and then we can go on to like expand and allow more to come into our lives.
Yeah, and I know both of us have done that with our dads and held that space for each other. Like, let's just miss this person for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Like, tell me everything that you miss. Like, let me witness your pain and what you're feeling right now. And then it's a heart opening, right? It's the magic and the tragedy of losing somebody you love is, yes, you feel that pain, but then you open up to a deeper connection. You open up to a more powerful, it's like a PowerPoint of your being opens up.
Totally. Like even when we're having those conversations with one another, it's like we're talking about what we miss in that person, and then the conversation always shifts into like how that person's fueling us now, and how like these experiences that we've experienced are like fueling and like driving us forward.
Yeah, it totally becomes the fire, and it what it does is it raises your vibration, because this is the definition of turning your pain into your power, the self-expression, the acknowledgement, and then it fuels you, right? Like it just, I mean, me and you're doing it right now. We start talking about something that might be difficult or challenging, and our mind always has a solution. Every problem has a solution. The mind, if you allow it, will show you what to do. It will show you what you need. And I feel like creating this sort of space is what it just like activates it and creates so much momentum towards what you want. Totally. Hi, Sarah and Jess. Thank you guys for joining. And Elizabeth, it's so good to see you guys here. So is there anything else you wanted to add on that?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, like, actually, I forget what I was going to say. I just lost my train of thought right there.
That's okay. You guys should go back, if you're just hopping on, watch this video. We talked a lot about how to cultivate faith. What that even, how do you have faith? You don't have faith until you do the thing that's uncomfortable, and you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable in order to grow, in order to receive all the gifts of the universe that we always talk about and manifest what we want. So thank you guys for joining us. We are going to dive. This is just scratching the surface of what we have for you. I'm really teaching you how to soothe the nervous system to be in that empowered place, and not just us helping you do it, learning how to do it yourself, so that you can create that life that you want, so you can feel strong through transition and change and face the unknown, knowing that the unknown isn't scary. There's immense possibility waiting for you if you can get in the place to believe it and see it. Did your idea come back?
No.
Okay.
Somewhere up here, not completely.
I was like, if I talk, it'll come back on. But no. So just as real as all those fear thoughts feel, the possibility is just as real. And it's learning how to manage your emotions in your mind to create what you want in your life. And that's what we're excited to show you in this Letting Go and Living experience. It's starting on March 1st. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, where am I? And it's a really affordable, intimate group program. You're going to get lots of one-on-one time with us, and we're going to dive deep. So make sure you guys go to jackiemcdonald.ca/lettinggo. And just please share this video out if you love this conversation, the little mini Haley and Jackie show we've got going on. Please share this. If you yourself are navigating through some times of change and transition, and there's some discomfort and you're afraid, reach out to us. We have the tools to support you. Yeah. And I think that's it for today. Does that feel complete for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is our heart's work. And so we're like so attached and like passionate about really helping you guys through this, because we know how this process has helped us move through and really cultivated our faith and helped us, move forward and to live the life that we want. So we want to help each and every one of you do the same thing.
Absolutely. And the last thing, I had something to remember as well, was lots of times we have the sense that there's something we need to let go of, but we kind of know, but we're like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't really want to deal with that. And I think what I want everyone to know is it doesn't have to be hard. Like, maybe if there's some uncomfortable things in your past that are probably holding you back, it doesn't need to be scary. And with this process, it will be easy. We're here to empower you and to not take you anywhere you don't want to go. That's the cool thing about EFT, is it's very gentle. And that if you have a sense that there's something you need to let go of, but you're not sure what it is, this course is for you. We will help you identify that and release it very quickly. So we love you. We'll leave you and love you. We'll see you all. We're going to do it tomorrow? Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you all tomorrow for day 4 of Letting Go and Living. Have a beautiful day.